when people ask us, are you doing attribute-based booking or attribute-based selling? We say, well, no, this is just part of it. Because the industry has defined attribute-based booking in a way that it's built on room categorization. So I have a room or a standard room, a deluxe room, and I want an additional attribute. But this is not what we're doing, and this is not how it's going to work. We therefore said, no, we are not about attribute-based booking. It's more about experience-based bookings, which we want to achieve. An experience is much different than just selling individual attributes, because an experience has multiple dimensions to it. And we refer to 4 of those dimensions, which we have used as a conceptual basis when we created the new way of how we manage inventory. And when we say managing inventory, it's not just space type inventory, it's experience inventory. An experience is not just a space type, and it's certainly not a simplified room category. When we speak about experience dimensions, we have 4 of them. So the first dimension is a physical dimension. It's what you see, it's what you touch, it's what you smell, it's what you hear, and what you taste. And that's pretty obvious, right? But it's also the quality of stuff. It's if things are working, the functionality of things. This is all considered to be the physical dimension of the experience design concept. The second dimension, which is very often overlooked, we refer to as the network dimension. And the network dimension is very important for experience design because it takes each individual experience touch point, each touch point in a journey, in relation to each other. Meaning, when I'm going and buying a holiday and I'm on a trip, there's a certain touch points on my way, and some touch points are more or less important in the context of my travel. Meaning, how important is really the bed in a hotel room? Well, it depends on the context of my travel, because if I'm going in and out, let's say I'm going to a party and I just need a place to freshen up, the bad experience itself is not so important, but maybe it's important, it's just clean, basics, and maybe it's dark so I can sleep in, and not the bad quality. But if I'm staying for the 7 nights, maybe the bad quality is important because I need to have good night's sleep every night. So the experience dimension, the network dimension, is very important and overlooked. The third experience dimension is the relational dimension. The relational dimension consists of 3 elements, if you so will. The first is, it's a very obvious one, it's a service I'm experiencing at the place. It's the other people that I'm engaging with. How's the service level, etc. That's the relational dimension. But there's another component to it. There's also the component to, with whom am I traveling? Because I experience the overall experience very different dependent on my travel companions. If I'm traveling with my kids, I'm looking at different things. I'm experiencing stuff very differently than if I'm traveling with my wife or if I'm traveling with my boss. So my travel companion is an important factor of the experience and relational dimension. And then there's a third component for it, and this is other guests. And I often explain that somebody, who chooses a place to be seen is not choosing that place because it has such a great bed or a great pool or whatever, great music. It's because they want to be seen, they want to be there, and other guests are the criteria for me to choose that place. So the relational dimension really has all 3 components. It's about the service, interactive guest interaction, it's about your travel companions, and it is about other guests. And the 4th dimension is a narrative dimension. And this is the storytelling dimension. It's about what are the expectations and actually when I'm going to a certain place. The narrative dimension describes if that has a history, for example, it's known for something. It's, for example, a very famous football player who always stays there. That's a story, and in my head, I'm building up a story when I see that, and therefore my experience is changed. Right? Just imagine you can stay in the room Elton John always stays in. And it could be the most crappiest room in the hotel. Doesn't matter. Your head says, oh, Elton John always stayed here, he loved it. And you will experience it very different. So these 4 dimensions are very important for experience design. And those 4 dimensions are the basis for our new experience language and the basis for that language for our dynamic inventory platform, how we manage data and how we'll use it for AI applications.